Hello and welcome back to the Common Colt Podcast, the Colts podcast with real takes and no clickbait. And Colts fans, the Colts just lost their Week 2 game against the Green Bay Packers in a very funky game, I'll say, 10-16. We give one-word reactions on our show and just kind of how our gut reaction is after a win or loss. And my one-word reaction is coaching. I'm curious of what your guys' one word is, so if you could comment below what that is. And to me, I think a lot of Colts fans are immediately going to say, fire Gus Bradley. And anytime you let up over 250 yards rushing and let Malik Willis look like a competent quarterback, I think that there's reasons to be upset at your defensive coordinator. But at the same time, I'm just going to put it out here. I'm probably going to go against the grain here and say it's not all on Gus Bradley. And he's not even the top guy on my list that I'm mad at. Because at the end of the day, the Colts defense only let up 16 points. The NFL is all about points and scoring. No matter how many yards you let up, if you can bend but don't break or make adjustments, which is what the Colts did after that first half. They got the turnover in the second quarter, and then they started kind of, it seemed like tightening up, especially after halftime. They tightened up, and they did a solid job of containing that Packers team, in which it felt like it was going to be a blowout early in the game. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration is going to come from, is that early start. But again, the defense tightened up. They gave the Colts offense plenty of opportunities to come back, and they couldn't do it. So for me, when I think about Gus Bradley, and I'm not saying he's the future defensive coordinator of the Colts that's going to lead the team to a Super Bowl, but he doesn't have the personnel. Buckner was out. Latu left the game with a hip injury. We already know Juju Brents went down with an injury last week, and the Colts really hadn't done anything this offseason to bolster up their defense. So he's doing what he can with what he's got, and they, especially in this game, and again, under 20 points, and in 2024, that should get you a win. Now, switching gear, and let me make myself clear one more time. I'm not sold on Gus Bradley, but I'm not pinning him as the number one guy in today's loss. That's what my point is. However, I am pinning coaching, and I'm pinning it on Shane Steichen. So if I have a Curtis Painter Game Ball Award, I'm tossing it to Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson, specifically Shane Steichen, because I think he set up Richardson to fail. We know how young and inexperienced and raw Anthony Richardson is as a player, and that showed today. And I think that showed because the Colts had a lot of drop back passes. Jonathan Taylor had 12 carries for 103 yards, should have had 20 carries. He was running the ball very well, and I think the Colts got pass happy. And on top of that, they didn't play the RPO read option game as much as I would like to have them to seen. Richardson's first design carry was halfway through the third quarter. These are little things that I think would help the Colts. They would have got the win today if they ran the ball more with JT, if they didn't ask AR to make as many second, third level throws. They were really looking for that intermediate to deep shots, and I want to see more checkdowns and more runs with Jonathan Taylor until Richardson gets acclimated with the NFL. I really feel like Shane Steichen dropped the ball today. Offensive play calling, gameplay situation-wise, I think about that fourth down they went for on around the 40-yard line in the first half, and then they turn around and they call a shovel option play on 3rd and 1, which results in a 50-yard field goal to Matt Gay, who has been struggling coming off a hernia surgery. He pushes it left. I just am not loving what I'm seeing from the coaching staff, really back-to-back weeks now. I really was surprised by, if I'm going to rip on Shane and Gus here, or if I'm going to rip on Gus here, it felt like they were underprepared to start the game to guard the running game, which to me is a little surprising. I would have thought that they would have been ready for that early instead of having to make adjustments. It just felt like a colossal failure by the coaching staff, which led to a Colts loss today. Because despite all of that, we had a shot at the end to connect on a Hail Mary or connect on a few more passes that would have potentially won the game. Richardson, I felt probably had his worst pro game ever today. He's played like 6 games, but he was inaccurate. He turned the ball over, dropping snaps, not looking composed after dropping snaps and throwing it at Michael Pittman's feet, for example, fumbling the ball on runs. He just did not look good today. And, you can attribute that to him being a raw prospect, and you can attribute that to Shane Steichen and the coaching staff just not putting him in a position to succeed. We've seen A.D. Mitchell drop a pass. It was the Colts just came out unprepared, and they looked like a young team today. They got a big game coming up against the Bears, and they are nicked up now. Buckner carted off the field, which is really unfortunate. I really hate to see that because he's a leader of the team. He is a top 5 defensive tackle in the NFL. Latu came out with a hip injury. Taylor didn't play the fourth quarter. Could have been a situational situation there, just because a lot of passing downs, but you really hope that he's going to be healthy. You're going to be getting Josh Downs back probably next week or the week following, which is going to be a nice shot in the arm, but I'm really upset with how the coaching staff handled this game specifically, and in terms of putting Richardson in a position to succeed and just overall having the team prepared. I really think they could have got a win today against a banged-up Packers team who didn't even have their starting quarterback. They had Malik Willis, and Malik Willis is not – I know he played like an NFL quarterback today, and that's going to be the narrative, but he is not an NFL quarterback. So that's kind of my gut reaction. I'm upset. But there's still some things we can grow on as a team. I think that the running game looked good. I think that Pierce has emerged as a receiver. He made some plays again today, getting open. Made a great catch at the end of the game. Didn't mean much, but after the ball hit off the guy's helmet. So there's still some pieces on this team that are worth being excited over. It's still early. It's week 2. We're no stranger to being early season holes, but we got to turn it around quick here. So that's kind of my gut reaction to the Colts loss versus the Packers today. And hey, the Packers got a good team. Their coach is a solid coach, and they're a playoff team. We went back to back against 2 really good playoff teams, and we lost both of them. We know what the measuring stick is. We know we can compete with them. We've just got to find a way as a young team to connect on the plays when they're there, and as a coaching staff to be better prepared. That's kind of my gut reaction, guys. I'd appreciate if you would take a moment and subscribe to our channel. Comment below what your thoughts are. And again, I appreciate you guys watching the Common Colt Podcast, a genuine Colts fan podcast where I'm not going to give an outlandish take to get clicks or get subscribers. I could have titled this video, Fire Gus Bradley Immediately, but I don't think that's realistic after letting up under 20 points. And I just want to, even if it's not clickable, we want to give genuine content to Colts fans. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.